All right, so again, here we are. Okay, we're graphing this linear inequality. The first thing that I do when I graph a linear inequality is to graph your y-intercept. So right now I'm graphing positive 4, right? So the y-intercept, I'm going to go over 0. I'm going to go up 4, plot that point. There it is. From there, look at your slope. Your slope is the number in front of the x, which is a positive 2. So that's up 2, rise, run, 1. Any whole number is over 1. So from my starting point, my y-intercept, I'm going to go up 2 over 1. There's your next point. Okay, so now, once I have my points plotted, again, we are going to do two changes. This is the two differences we learned last class. Decide whether it's a solid or a dashed line, and then decide whether to shade above or below. Okay, and again, both of those are going to come from my inequality symbol. All right, so Alex, are you there? Looking at my inequality symbol, Alex, this is a solid line. Why is it a solid line? Remember I said Remember I said if there's a what? If there's a something. If there's a solid line, that means it has to have like an inequality symbol. So if there's a line underneath your inequality symbol, you draw a line. Right? So if it's greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, if there's an equals to line underneath, you draw a solid line. Okay, so this is a less than or equal to, right? There's a line right here. So if there's a line right here, you draw a solid line. Okay, and then so now I'm shading below the graph, Alex. Can you tell me why I'm shading below the graph? Because your less than or equal to line is Yeah, it's less than, right? It's a less than or equal to. So it's telling you less than. Any number that is less than, below. Okay, if it's a greater than, above. Right? So all of that hinges on your inequality symbol. All right, so it's a less than or equal to, shade below. Again, it's an equals to line underneath, solid line. Those are the two things that we learned. Okay, so now looking at another example, we have the graph, or the inequality, y is greater than 3. So we know right now, looking at our inequality symbol, it is not equal to, so it's got to be a dashed line. We also know that looking at our inequality symbol, it's greater than. Greater than means above, shade above the graph. So now, any y equals a number is a horizontal line. So we have a horizontal line at the point y equals 3. Because no matter what x value I tell you, y has to equal 3. So I can tell you that the x value is 0, but y has to equal 3. It tells us that right here. I can tell you that the x value, is 6. Y has to equal 3. So you get a horizontal line right here at y equals 3. And again, it's dashed because it's not equals to, and it's shaded above because it is greater than. Okay, now, the exact opposite is true for x equals a number. If it's x equals a number, it's a vertical line. Right? Now we have x is less than negative 2. Again, there is no equals to, right? There is no line underneath. So you draw a dashed line. There's no line underneath. It is a dashed line. It is not equals to. Now deciding where to shade at is a little bit different because you cannot shade above or below a vertical line. So what you need to do is you need to figure out what points make the inequality true. So in this case, I want points that are less than negative 2. So negative 6 is less than negative 2. So you know you need to shade on this side. But if you plugged in 0, 0 is not less than negative 2. 0 is greater than negative 2. So you know right now that that is false. That makes a false statement. So therefore, it is not a solution. 6, right here, positive 6, is not less than negative 2. So you know you need to shade on the other side of the line. Okay, so again, go back and let's review. Okay, the first thing that I do is I graph my y-intercept, right? So I'm plotting the point 0, 4. From there, I look at my slope, which is the number in front of the x. So I know I'm going up 2 over 1. Once you get your points plotted, your two differences occur. It's a solid line if it is equal to, right? So if it's a line underneath, you draw a line. All right, and then deciding whether to shade above or below depends on the inequality symbol. If it is a less than symbol, then you are shading below, less than, below. If it's a greater than symbol, shade above the graph. Like I said, we're not learning anything new. That's a review from last class. So now what you're going to do is you're going to go to our Desmos activity. So you're going to go to our Schoology folder. Let me show it to you. You're going to go to our Schoology folder. Okay, what we just did is we just did our Linear Inequalities Day 2 PowerPoint. So the Inequalities Desmos activity is what you're going to open up. So click on that, open it up. Now understand that I can see everything that you're doing, writing down, and submitting. Okay, and I will be checking it. So now what you're going to do is you're going to click this pop-out window right here to open it in a new tab. And you are going to continue without signing in. Whenever you click this right here, you will be asked to put your name in. This is how I check to see that you are actually working on the assignment, right? So if my name is Billy Joe, I would type in Billy Joe. I don't have a Billy Joe, okay, but I would type in Billy Joe, and then let's go. All right, so that will cue you to start your inequalities matching game. So now let me tell you what I can see, right? I can see every student that's enrolled, and I can see where they're at. All right, so if it ever pulls up, so like this is another class that I have. Okay, so I can see that Graham has completed it. Check mark means that you got them all right. Check mark means that you got them all right, and then that little dot tells me that you have submitted your answer. So I can go back in and see what he wrote on his last thing. But I can see that Ryan did not get them all right. So Ryan went ahead and finished. He should not have. He should have went back and completed this part right here before he moved on to the next one. And if I scroll down, I had corrected him, and he did it again. Okay, so make sure what you're going to be asked to do is you're going to be asked to match the inequality with the graph. Okay, so like looking at this, I'm going to have a graph, right? Y is less than or equal to 2. And then you're going to have inequalities, and you're going to match them. You're going to drag them and put them on top of each other. So hint, hint, that's the right answer. So once you think you have them all right, you're going to go to the next screen, and it will check it for you. If you have some that are wrong, go back and fix them, and then go to the next one. You have 2 sets of cards to complete. Okay? So what you're going to do, let me stop this recording.